Hi everyone. When was the last time you received recognition and praise for what you do at work? How did it make you feel? Do you feel that you receive recognition and praise frequently enough to help to keep you motivated and committed to what you are doing? Hi there, welcome along to my weekly ponderings, a year in the life of an executive coach. And this week we've hit week 46, and I'm continuing my series based on a book. And the book is this one, it's Metaphors We Lead By. And I've reached a chapter in the book which talks about the concept of leaders as buddies. So I want to take a few minutes just to explore that with you today. In this particular chapter, the focus is really on behaviours that are designed or have the benefit of increasing motivation, increasing commitment, and increasing loyalty amongst those whom you are leading. And it made me reflect a little bit on my own practice when I was a head teacher. I used to keep in my office a little supply of bottles of Prosecco and thank you cards or blank cards that I could fill in. And I used to make it a weekly habit to just be aware of what my teaching staff and other staff were getting up to and looking out for opportunities just to say thank you to those who I felt had gone above and beyond. Now you have to be careful with this. I was very careful with it, just making sure that I was not missing people. And occasionally some of my senior colleagues would say, you've forgotten so-and-so because they did this in the last week. But I tried to do that as frequently as I could. So just a little thank you card taped to a bottle of Prosecco and just leave it in their pigeonhole, or hand it to them and just say thank you very much. I saw what you did and I'm very, very grateful for the contribution that you made. I also used to try and keep an eye on people's birthdays and did my level best to try and remember and acknowledge everybody's birthdays with a handwritten birthday card. Simple things that to me actually were very important. As a head, I felt that that was an important part of what I would do. So the chapter in the book, Metaphors We Lead By, that we've got to here, calls these behaviours buddying behaviours. And the two people who wrote the chapter, Stefan Svengesson and Martin Blom, go on to talk about the different types of behaviour that a buddying leader might indulge in. But they identify four different types of buddies, which I wanted just to briefly share with you. One they called the party host. So the idea here is if you picture yourself hosting a party or a social event, this is about making people feel welcome. This is about creating social and emotional bonds between you as the leader and your team, so that everybody feels welcome, everybody feels included within that concept, within that environment. The second type of buddying leadership that they identify, they call the pseudo shrink. The idea here is that as a buddying leader, you are on the lookout for problems that your team are facing, and you are then getting stuck in to help resolve and solve those problems either for them or with them. The third type of buddying leadership they call being one of the guys or one of the gals. So this is about putting yourself on an equal footing with your colleagues that you are leading and acting as a prototype. So effectively here modelling leadership behaviours that you would like to see others engaging in. And I think that was certainly very much in my mind when I was passing on bottles of Prosecco and thank you notes to my team. It was very much me saying, this is how I see and acknowledge you, and I'd love it if you were doing that to other members of the school community. And the fourth type of buddying leadership behaviour they identify, they call this being the ombudsman. So this is kind of keeping an eye out for idiosyncratic directives or attempts to seek control from those maybe even higher up in the hierarchy of the organisation, and you as the buddying leader actually putting yourself in the way there and dealing with those bureaucratic controls and maybe taking that pressure off of your team and saying to them, look, I'll deal with that, you get on with your job, I'm releasing you to do your work. So I find this metaphor quite attractive, and there are a lot of links here obviously between the buddying metaphor and the other two I've already done, the leadership as saints and leadership as a gardener. Do have a look back at those videos if you haven't caught those. But I wonder if this is important for you in terms of your own leadership style. Are you somebody who is alert to the needs of your team, to the needs of your colleagues? And how do you actually ensure that they are seen, that they are recognized, and that they are encouraged and included? The guys who wrote this chapter in the book end with a warning. It's just a warning to say, is there a danger that this type of leadership may lead to an over-dependency on social praise? That people might come to be so reliant on being told well done by their boss that they actually become slightly disempowered if they don't receive that regular feedback that I see you and I acknowledge you and I think you're doing a great job. I'll leave you to ponder that, but I would recommend this book. Do have a look at it if you've never come across it before. It's a really interesting book, and the chapter I've been sharing on today is chapter 6 in that book. Thanks very much indeed for watching these videos through. There's a few more of these metaphor-based chapters to come, and I look forward to sharing my thoughts on those with you. In the meantime, if you or anybody else you know would like to get in touch with me for some support through coaching or mentoring, my email address is on screen. Please do get in touch. Initial sessions are free, and I would love to talk to you to see how I might be able to support you in your professional development. Have a great week, everyone, and see you next week.